Hello friends, I prepared another great video for you. I hope you enjoy my new documentary. Don't forget to subscribe and comment to support the growth of my channel. Was Queen Elizabeth II, head of the Church of England, a descendant of Prophet Muhammad? Following the death of British Queen Elizabeth II on September 8 at the age of 96, various statements emerged, reinvigorating a long-debated claim that the monarch had ancestral links to Prophet Muhammad, the founding leader of Islam. After tracing her family tree back 43 generations, historians think the Queen is a descendant of Islam's founder, as per some reports. According to the claim, the British monarch is a great descendant of Prophet Muhammad. Her ancestors have been traced back for centuries, and there are doubts concerning Elizabeth's probable ancestry from a Muslim princess named Zayda, as well as Zayda's own origins and offspring. The claim publicly appeared in 2018 when a Moroccan newspaper claimed to have traced the ancestry of Queen Elizabeth back to the Prophet. A March 2018 report in the Moroccan daily Al Ausba reiterated assertions made by Harold B. Brooks Baker, publishing director of Burke's Peerage Partnership, claiming the Queen is the Prophet's 43rd direct descendant through Muhammad's daughter Fatima. According to their study, Elizabeth II's ancestors trace back to the 14th century Earl of Cambridge, via medieval Muslim Spain, and to Fatima, the Prophet's daughter. Although some historians doubt the allegation, genealogy records from early medieval Spain support it, and it has also been validated by Ali Gomer, Egypt's former Grand Mufti. In 1986, Burke's publishing director, Harold B. Brooks Baker, wrote to then Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, requesting enhanced protection for the royal family. After this, the royal family's direct descent from the Prophet Muhammad cannot be relied upon to protect the royal family forever from Muslim terrorists, Baker wrote to the then British Prime Minister. He said, "It is little known by the British people that the blood of Muhammad flows in the veins of the Queen. Recognizing the relationship would be a surprise to many. However, this is a fact that all Muslim religious leaders are proud of." Elizabeth's lineage with Muhammad was first formally mentioned in Burke's Peerage research. It was said that the Queen is descended from Zayda, a Muslim princess who escaped Seville in the 11th century and later became a Christian. Zayda was the fourth wife of King Al-Mu'tamid ibn Abad of Seville. He had a son named Sancho via her. In the 11th century, a descendant of Sancho were the Earl of Cambridge. The House of Windsor is perceived, both at home and abroad, as one of the quintessential British institutions. Yet, for all their Britishness, Queen Elizabeth II and her heirs boast an impressive lineage going back to Islamic Spain. Zayda, a Muslim princess living in 11th century Seville, is one of the most improbable and extraordinary ancestors of the royal family. Zayda's bloodline reached the English shores through her engagement to Alfonso V, King of Leon Castile. From their offspring descended Isabel Perez of Castile, who in the 14th century was sent to England to marry the Earl of Cambridge. The legacy of Al-Andalus thus permeated into the Plantagenet royal court. This lineage has been of recent interest both in the UK and in the Middle East, as it purportedly proves a family relationship between Queen Elizabeth II and Prophet Muhammad himself. Respected experts and commentators such as Burke's Peerage and Ali Gomer, the former Grand Mufti of Egypt, have suggested that Zayda was the offspring of Al-Mu'tamid, ruler of Seville and a descendant of Fatima and Ali. As a member of the Banu Hashim, Her Majesty would count as relatives, among others, the supreme leader of Iran, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, or Prince Shah Karim al-Husseini, Aga Khan IV, a close friend of the royal family. Sadly, the theory of Queen Elizabeth II's Hashemite lineage is too good to be true. The mysteries surrounding Zaida's origins, the key to the puzzle, make it hard to sustain Her Majesty's potential right to rule over the Dar al-Islam. Be that as it may, there are valuable lessons to be learned from Her Majesty's Spanish ancestor. The story of the marriage between Zaida and Alfonso V not only puts in question racialized view of ethnic and cultural belonging, but also adds nuance to explanations of the contact between Islam and the Christian West, a historical subject that has seen a rising popular interest in the past decade. A number of recent books and articles have presented the contact between las tres culturas, as the Abrahamic faiths are commonly referred to in Spain, in one of two mutually exclusive approaches. Spain was either a land of tolerance, better known as convivencia, or a theater of war and interreligious conflict. In fact, Zaida and Alfonso V lived in a world which allowed little reflection on these modern debates. Zaida enjoyed the many luxuries of the court of the Abbasid dynasty of Seville through her probable marriage to Al-Fath al-Ma'mun, the son of the Emir al-Mu'tamid. By the 1040s, the Abbasids supplanted Córdoba as the most prominent in Al-Andalus. Under the rule of Zaida's father-in-law, al-Mu'tamid, Seville has been regarded to have experienced a golden age in Andalusi literary production. The collection of artists, poets and scholars gathered at the Sevillian court included the emir himself, whose verses were well regarded by his peers. They were beautiful as the bud when it opens to disclose the flower, according to the 12th century scholar Ibn Bassam. The poet king's promotion of the arts of the pen and of the sword had unequal results. In 1091, Seville was captured by the Almoravids troops of Yusuf ibn Tashfin, and al-Mu'tamid was exiled to Agmat, in Morocco, where he would die soon after, lamenting in his last poems his own failures. As Zaida fled from the disastrous Almoravid siege, in which her husband al-Ma'mun was killed, her fate appeared sealed. In her hurried exit seeking refuge north of Seville, the princess was taken in captivity and sent to the Castilian court, where she would find a new life. Her future husband, Alfonso V, had been for long a thorn in the side of al-Mu'tamid, particularly after May of 1085, when the Castilian ruler seized the bustling city of Toledo in replacement of the local Muslim dynasty. Alfonso V's conquest of Toledo was a serious blow to the hegemony of Al-Andalus in Iberian politics, causing panic among the different emirs of Al-Andalus and fueling the arrival of the Almoravids north of the Straits of Gibraltar. That fateful series of events has garnered Alfonso V the dubious honor of being one of the pioneers of the Reconquista. If it can be said at all that there was a process by which the Christian kingdoms of the north recaptured the territories lost by the Visigoths in 711 after the Arab arrival in Spain, Alfonso V certainly did not meet the requirements. It is often forgotten that not a drop of blood was shed when taking over the city on the Tagus River. Likewise, it is not mentioned that Alfonso V's affinity with the local Muslims scandalized his first wife, the French Queen Constance, to the point of causing a major rift at the Castilian court. In fact, Alfonso V had spent some time at the Islamic courts in Seville and Toledo as a political exile, chased off by his brothers, Garcia II and Sancho II, after staging a mutiny against him. During his Andalusi sojourn, the Castilian king appears to have taken up some Andalusi courtly practices, whether in personal hygiene or garb, keeping up with the latest trends in Seville. This does not mean that Alfonso V was acculturated. Rather, the Castilian monarch had acquired a vision of his own political ambitions that transcended the boundaries of his faith. Alfonso V aspired to become the sole ruler of the Iberian Peninsula, including the Islamic territories. According to the 13th century Tunisian chronicler, Ibn al-Qardabus, the arrogant Castilian ruler even started to fashion himself as the emperor of the two religions. In this context, the decision to welcome Zayda at the Castilian court, instead of sending her to Morocco to her relatives in exile, and the commencement of a sexual relationship with the Muslim princess, was not as a sign of coexistence, but a confident statement of power. Zayda's position at the court was as poorly understood by Christian contemporaries in Spain as it is nowadays. Some texts refer to her as a concubine. According to Pelayo, the famous bishop of Oviedo, Zayda was nearly a wife, quasi pro uxor, and if the presence of the Muslim princess at court might have been a touchy subject in itself, Alfonso V's decision to sacralize his bond with Zayda was even more perplexing. The birth of Sancho, Alfonso V's only son and poised to become the heir to the kingdom, was the determining factor. Zayda, thus converted to Christianity, took the same name Isabel, later used by her famous descendant. Zayda's alcove, so determinant in her rise to royal favor, also saw her fall. The princess died giving birth to one of the other two children begotten with Alfonso V. The story of Zayda's marriage to King Alfonso VI reminds us of the intimate and profoundly complex interlacing of our common Islamic and European pasts. Transgressing as they did their seemingly insurmountable religious, cultural and political boundaries, Queen Elizabeth II's ancestors are difficult to box into the traditional division of military conquest versus cultural hybridity and tolerance. Looking at the past in pessimistic or rose-tinted lenses more often responds to modern political agendas than to historical concerns.